Welcome to the world of international trade, where terms like Fca Incoterm rule the roost. But what is an Fca Incoterm, you ask? Picture it as a contractual agreement between a buyer and a seller, defining who bears the responsibilities, costs, and risks during the transportation of goods. Fca stands for free carrier, but don't let the word free mislead you. It doesn't mean the transportation is without cost, but rather that the seller has fulfilled their obligation once they have handed over the goods, cleared for export, into the charge of the carrier nominated by the buyer at the named place or point. Now, to understand Fca Incoterm, think of it as a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece represents a component of the term: delivery, transportation, risk, and costs. The delivery piece signifies the point where the seller hands over the goods to the carrier. This can be the seller's premises, a port, an airport, or any other place mutually agreed upon. It's crucial to specify this place in the contract as it determines when the risk transfers from the seller to the buyer. Next, we have the transportation piece. Under Fca Incoterm, the buyer arranges the main carriage. The seller, however, is responsible for the initial transportation of goods from their premises to the agreed delivery point. Then comes the risk piece. The risk transfers from the seller to the buyer at the point of delivery. If anything happens to the goods after this point, it's the buyer's headache, not the seller's. Lastly, the cost piece. Under Fca, the seller bears all costs until the goods are delivered to the carrier. Any cost incurred after the delivery point falls on the buyer. Now, why use Fca Incoterm? It provides clarity and reduces the risk of legal complications. It's versatile, applicable to any mode of transport, and allows the buyer to have direct control over the main carriage, including costs and risks. In summary, Fca Incoterm is a contractual term in international trade that clearly demarcates the responsibilities, costs, and risks between a buyer and a seller. The seller's obligation ends once they deliver the goods cleared for export to the carrier nominated by the buyer at the agreed location. The buyer then assumes all risks and costs. Remember, clarity in international trade is paramount. Defining terms like Fca Incoterm helps avoid misunderstandings and protects the interests of all parties involved. So next time you come across Fca Incoterm, know that it's not just a term, but a vital tool for smooth, hassle-free international trade.